inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love that.
Hello, betters. All right. Welcome to the live stream. Beautiful Monday morning, September 23rd. Wherever you're watching this in the world, my best to you. So you may have seen the title and the thumbnail and thinking, oh, this is so ominous. What is Patrick talking about? Hello. What is this going to be about? Well, in today's live stream, we're going to be covering the James Webb telescope incident, I guess we're going to call it. I don't know exactly, but I've got some updates there and some comments that I want to make about that because that story is spreading like wildfire. And there's definitely some things I would like to address about that and give some updates, like I said. So stick with me for that. We're also just going to be covering some overall current events that are happening in the UFO community as a whole. I'm going to comment on some of that. And of course, we'll do our regular Q&A near the end of the show. So save your questions, send your super chats in now, and I will get to them at the end of the show. Shout out to all the members, YouTube members. Thank you so much for tuning in and grabbing a membership. I really appreciate that. And especially those that have been gifting memberships. That's very, very kind. And I just want to say thank you to that. And of course, our wonderful moderators who are in the live chat right now, rocking this. Without them, I couldn't do any of it. And this past weekend and the days leading up, the last few vetted episodes, I would say, have brought a lot to the chat, right? Vetted just keeps getting out there and just keeps putting its name out there and apparently getting involved in all kinds of controversies, which leads me to our first story that we're going to cover, right? We put out a video about Ron James and some exclusive information, right, and videos that he brought. I believe that was Saturday's episode. Talked about the implants, right? He shared the exclusive footage of the implant, the interview with the implantee, this Gary Nolan interview, some photos. It was great. Well, near the end, we got to a particular story following up on something we had covered before, which was about these this person in Russia had claimed to have, come upon some material spontaneously after embarking upon a CE5, right? Encounter, I guess, if you will, right? These pieces showed up on his table out of nowhere, possibly sent by NHI to him. I don't know. Whatever. So these pieces get tested. And Ron does this MUFON symposium, right, back in July, and talks about it. And we showed that, followed up on the story, and showed that in our interview with Ron. I don't remember how far into the interview it was exactly. And apparently, Ron said some things that were not liked by someone in particular. And that someone in particular I have here with us today. I'm going to bring him up here in just a moment to the stage so we can talk this out, because apparently Ron and myself are being called out about this, and I definitely want to address it head on and just talk and work it out like gentlemen, as I think things should be worked out. You guys know me. I've always done that on the show, privately, publicly. It's how I operate. This is going to be no different. But before we get to that, and before I bring this gentleman up, I do want to do what we always do on these live streams at the beginning here. It's a vetted tradition, and that is we are going to call out where we're watching from so everyone can see what kind of global audience and global reach Vetted has. All right, so I'm in Texas. Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? Hit me with it, y'all. Let's go. Washington State, Sydney, Australia, Vancouver, New Brunswick, Pittsburgh, Boston, Poland. Wow. South Wales, Iowa, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, London, Queens, baby, Malaysia, Macedonia, Hawks, Michigan, excuse me, Cleveland, Ohio, Seattle, Perth, Australia, London, Manchester, the Netherlands, love it, Germany, Alemania, Atlanta, Lubbock, we got more Texas, Sweden, oh, I love that, UK, Brisbane, Highland, Michigan. Man, we got a lot of fans in Michigan, I must say. Sweden, love Sweden, man. Got a lot of fans there, too. I got to go to Sweden. New York, love it. Essex, Austin. You get the point, right, everybody? We got a lot of people watching from all over. So thank you so much for joining. Let's jump into this this first story. All right, so basically, I wake up this morning to some Twitter messages and Twitter notifications that were quite disturbing for me personally. Right. Basically saying that we lied in this story about these pieces of material that were found from this Russian person and what Ron attributed them to being, this aerogel material. Right. So, but I wake up to messages saying that we lied in this episode and that legal action is going to be taken against me if I don't retract it or pull it down or whatever. So let me bring up the person who sent me these messages and made these claims on Twitter. Again, all respect to him for coming on. We're going to talk like gentlemen. So please, in the chat, let's all be respectful here. All right. Here he is. His name is Joshua Bertrand. Hello, Joshua. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hello, Vetters. Thank you for having me on to clear the air about this. I really appreciate it, since I believe that I've been wronged. I may have falsely attributed it to Patrick, as this was on Patrick's show. I now firmly believe that it was solely the offense of his guest, and I'd like to talk that out with him today because there's a miscommunication here.
Okay, so these messages that I got threatening me with legal action, you take that back against me?
Yeah, after you've provided me what I asked for, which is an avenue to address what I believe was a wrong that was incurred yesterday, I took the Twitter messages down, and in that message where I said legal action, I did say that I only requested that the episode be taken down as Ron lied and stole my research. And you're now offering me that chance to set things right. So I've taken the Twitter messages down, and since you've done what I asked for, there's no need for any legal action either in my mind.
Okay, so let's talk about what this is all about, right? You feel that you've been wrong. You feel that your research has been stolen by something Ron James said in our interview, right? So just from your words, so you can speak your mind, so no one's putting any words in your mouth. How do you feel you've been wronged?
So the field that I investigate is aerogels and lighter than aircraft and UFOs. And yesterday in your episode, Ron took my previous interview from last year with Simon Holland, where I had explained aerogels, lighter than aircraft, and spherical vacuum craft. And Ron is taking that in your video yesterday and is claiming that it's MUFON research. I'm not affiliated with MUFON. MUFON had no agreement to use my research, and Ron James did not come up with that research on his own. So I feel that he could have mentioned even just the simple mention of this research was done by Joshua Bertrand and I am using it would have been acceptable to me. I wouldn't have made any fuss, but my words are coming out of his mouth, and he's saying that this is MUFON research. I looked at that Russian page that he's provided as evidence doesn't make any claims about aerogel. Ron has found that from somewhere else and has inserted that into his narrative. And I know where he found that, because in your video, he acknowledged that he did see a Simon Holland video on it. Well, that Simon Holland video was about a decade worth of my research. And if you're going to talk to anyone about it, honestly, you're talking to the right person today. And for Ron to assume that that research can be taken by MUFON it's offensive as a creator. And I hope you as a creator understand that. If someone took your episodes of Vetted, scrubbed your name out of it, and portrayed it as their own content, you'd be offended too. Perhaps even to the point of seeking legal action. No, I'd like this information to get out. I'd just like it to get out properly. I know how to spell aerogel. I know the history of these materials going back to 1920. I know the US Department of Defense aerospace programs these were kept in through the years. And I'd like to help you and your community know about this. But a man who has watched one of my videos and is relaying that information secondhand or third hand is not the appropriate vetted source to get that information from. And it's disingenuous of him to even pretend that that information is theirs.
Okay, so let me just address a few things. I guess first, let's start with, you sent me messages about this yesterday, right? You DM'd me, which you've DM'd
And in the
me.
past. Yeah.
You've DM'd me in the past. I looked at our other DMs, and you even were upset that I wasn't responding to you, right?
It's a little frustrating to come forward with this and not get a response.
But you realize,
right?
Like, hang on, I didn't interrupt you, right? I let you talk, and I didn't say anything. So you DM'd me before, and were upset I wasn't responding, maybe not taking into account how many messages I get from people and emails, and if I don't respond immediately. But let's put those earlier messages aside. Yesterday, you sent me on Sunday afternoon DMs, and because I didn't respond within minutes or that evening to you professionally, how much time do you think you should give somebody? At least 48 hours, right, to respond to what you did. But you went on Twitter, you started calling me a liar, Ron a liar, don't click on this video, these are liars, don't support them, UFO community. In fact, you tried to enact the rest of the UFO community not to support us because of these actions, giving me no time to respond professionally to this. So I think if you do have this message that you want to get out, that may not be the best example, because I don't know who would want to really talk to you or interview you knowing that this could happen, right? Just professionally, if things happen, in my opinion, what you should have done is just, hey, Patrick, this XYZ, can we talk? And then wait for me to respond appropriately, with time. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm with my family. So I wake up to these messages and you blowing up and accusing me of things that I didn't do, right? I found that to be very unprofessional and unnecessary and a little irresponsible, in my opinion. Now, I'm bringing you here to talk it out like men, because I think that's what we should do. In fact, when you mention legal action, technically, because of my production company, I'm supposed to stop all communication with you and send you to, you can deal with our legal department, right, to prove all of this, instead of just trying to work it out like gentlemen. I feel you jumped the gun. You got very emotional about it. Now, I understand your concerns about, you feel someone stole your research. Okay, I can relate to that. You feel someone stole your content. It upset you. I can respect that. I can understand that and relate to you with that. People steal my content. People put it up on YouTube. I don't do anything about it. We take different approaches. I don't really care. Let people, I'm focused on what I'm doing. But granted, if you had an issue, reaching out to me about it and wanting to talk would have been the better approach, in my opinion. But regardless, we're here. Let's get to this issue of your research being stolen. You claim you have done research and it's yours legally. And anyone that says it, therefore, is breaking the law somehow, stealing your research. Because I want to show a clip real quick that you mentioned, in fact, because I spoke to Ron James on the phone, and throughout us talking, I'm going to talk about some of the things that he said to me in response to your claims. Let's bring this clip up right here. Keep you in the screen, Josh. This is him talking about your Simon Holland interview.
You bind aerogel to a polymer, and it makes it hard enough to support a vacuum while still remaining lighter than air. So there's plans and designs out there that you can find. And Professor Simon, who you just interviewed, did a whole story on this. This is really weird. The whole idea is that you could put a tank inside of an object, say a Tic Tac.
Okay, it's quick, but he does mention the Simon Holland interview, right? I guess my question to you, Josh, and I'll let you take it from here. What legal rights do you have, like, to your research exactly? And what timestamp exactly in this interview did Ron breach that legal, requirement, right? What's the legal line that he crossed in our interview?
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to talk this out as men, as ethical humans, as people who believe in what's right or wrong, or do you want to try this as a legal trial? Because I'm not a lawyer, and if we want to try it as a legal trial, I'll hand it off to them. I can talk about this as an honest human with you. That's what I'd prefer to do.
Okay. So what research are you saying he stole from you? What timestamp? Like, what exactly are you talking about?
Literally, the video clip that you just showed, my words of an aerogel being formed in a tank and forming a vacuum craft is my words that Ron has stolen from that video. He did not mention my name. He did not give me credit at all for doing the research, and that upsets me as an individual researcher.
And
as an individual creator, you're being disingenuous to say that you do nothing. I have seen you put strikes on other channels that have stolen your content. So if Ron is going to go on the show and you're going to platform him and allow him to steal my information without giving me any credit, without mentioning my name at all, and using my words as his.
So he's not allowed to say things you have said unless we put a credit there. This is actually Joshua Bertrand's words. Can I just tell you real quick what Ron told me on the phone?
Go for it.
You
interrupted me, but that doesn't matter when it's me speaking.
So what Ron said on the phone was, actually, Josh, he wanted to put you in his documentary that's coming out.
No, he didn't. He's never approached me. He's never contacted me, and he's on your video.
I didn't say what
words.
He said, Josh. Look, man, if you're not going to do this appropriately, I'm not going to have you on here. That's bottom line.
Ron
I have
James
a whole community
has never
here.
Contacted me.
You're not letting me say what he said. He couldn't find you. You didn't reach out to. Have you reached out to Ron James to tell him this, or did you only reach out to me?
Was before this video. He saw a video of me being interviewed and
he wanted to reach out and have you on. I guarantee you, after seeing this, he definitely doesn't want to have you on or talk to you. I wouldn't. Why?
I don't care.
The way you approach
From
this,
what I've heard, he's a liar. Because I was sent that
that's
video
defamatory
yesterday by other
that's
people.
That's defamatory what you're saying, Josh. Well, how is he a liar?
Well, he claimed that research was MUFON's research.
That's
MUFON
not what he said. And I implore, he did not say that. I implore everyone to watch that video. What's the timestamp, Josh?
From 1:22 in your video to 1:30, various times
8 minutes.
Claim. Yep.
That's 8 minutes. Specifically, just give me one specific timestamp.
That's the
where he says
that
what
I
you just
have
said.
for you. That's the
timestamp. Is an 8-minute timestamp.
Yes.
Because that's a MUFON symposium presentation that I played.
No, it's not. It's Ron James talking about aerogel and aerogel vacuum craft. And in fact, you asked him to spell aerogel and he had to look at a piece of paper to do it. This is not a serious man.
These are personal attacks, Josh. This does not make you look good.
I have also been personally attacked, Patrick.
By me?
On this show, you platformed someone who literally stole my words.
He didn't steal your
who
words.
stole my
Josh.
research
They're not
and
your words.
pretended that it
Nobody
was
stole
his
your
groups.
research. No one pretended it was his. You're misconstruing all of this. You know what I mean? And you're attacking, you're threatening legal action. You're sending me messages on Sunday afternoon when I
I've
can't
explicitly
respond.
told
You
you
called me
that
a
I'm
liar. You're calling
I
Ron
said
James
you
a liar now.
platformed a liar.
You know
I
what I'm
am
going to
calling
do?
Ron James a liar.
You know what I'm going to do, Josh? I'm going to remove that clip from the interview because it doesn't matter, because that
That's what I asked
video
for.
is about, and I will never mention your name or anything you've ever worked on. No
Excellent.
problem. No problem. Done. Out.
Goodbye, Vetters.
All right. Hit the button. I'll do it for
What
you.
button?
Wow. Done. Well, that was easy. Just remove that. We'll move that 8 minutes after this. That will be easy. Again, the guy went on Twitter and just said, look, Ron did come on the show. He's my guest that came on the show. I'm not going to let that guy just say these things about Ron again with no evidence. Asked him to provide the evidence. He's claiming his research that is made up of other people's research. Does he not realize that? He uses patents, documents, none of which he wrote. He has released no research. Why anybody would have this guy on their show again, good God. Good luck dealing with that guy. I haven't even shared the private messages he sent me. And there's a reason I didn't respond to him before when he was getting mad at me for not responding to him. There's a reason, because his messages he were sending me were crazy. Anyway, let's move on from that. And no, I will not be pulling this video down, but I will be removing the stuff about the aerogel, because who cares? Oh, good God. Again, his research is made up of other people's research. Does he credit all of those people every time he speaks? Ron did want to have him in his documentary. He spoke to me about trying to get in contact with this guy. And even after I was telling Ron everything he said, Ron was like, nah, I still talk to the guy. I don't know, after seeing this live stream. Good luck, Ron. Just unprofessional, unnecessary, disrespectful, irresponsible. And I just have no room for that. I don't understand people like that, gentlemen. There's a reason that he's not on more podcast interviews and people don't want to talk about his research. Good luck, dude. All right, let's move on. What's the next story? James Webb. Yo, James Webb. So there is a lot going around about the James Webb telescope story, right? Let's be real. It is spreading like crazy. Everyone is talking about it, everyone in the UFO community. But it's spreading past that, right? To other people. I saw a comment from Brian Keating this morning about it. Mick West tweeted out about Pavel. The clip of Pavel talking on his podcast, and then the clip of our stream that we did with Clint from Night Shift, Pavel from Seco Activo, and Simon Holland, pardon me. That, right, all of that together. And people are basically, I think, misconstruing a lot. I can't speak to what Pavel's video and his thing, right? But in ours, with our live stream, with all four of us, people are misconstruing what was said in that live stream. Okay, so I want to confront some of that and set the record straight. Exactly what we spoke about. Again, how do people like, you know what I mean? They just misinterpret and run with that narrative. It blows my mind. whatever. You know, I've maybe done it on my own show. And it makes me think twice about saying stuff for sure. Absolutely. Learn a lot. It's a journey when you're a presenter like I am, because I'm not a journalist. I'm a YouTuber here. Okay. Ex-chef turned YouTuber who makes videos. It's that simple. Which most YouTubers, right? Not journalists. So I have people on to have a discussion about something, right? A rumor, right? A discussion of, hey, my sources said this. Granted, if you want to attack that, oh, you shouldn't have sources and you should, fine, go for it. That's complete understanding. You know, I can understand that argument. But people were saying, like, we are definitively saying there's an object headed for Earth. You know, a non-human massive object headed for Earth. You know, that is not what was said in that live stream. What was said in the live stream was, as part of it, was that is a story that has been heard, right? That's what sources are telling Pavel. And he made it very clear what exactly he was saying. Pavel was very clear on what he said. So I feel like Pavel got misconstrued, right? They took Pavel's words and took it out of context. Because at the end of the day, if you sit Pavel down and you ask him, right, he's not definitively saying anything. He's just relaying what he heard, right? Now, his opinion on whether or not it's true or not is different. We're all allowed our own opinion on that story, but he's just relaying a story. Now, we could get into the discussion of, should those stories be discussed openly because they can be misconstrued? Okay, I can have that discussion. But taking what we said and running with it another way felt disingenuous. But, you know, that's the internet. And granted, I guess some of these people are just taking stories they heard and saying it. So maybe it's not such a, you know, that's kettle calling black or whatever that saying is. Maybe we're the hypocrites. I don't know, but I'm here to talk about it, right? If you notice in that video, I push back a lot, right? I'm like, I don't think this is happening. I don't know. Seems crazy to me. I don't know. Where'd you hear that? You know, what's going on? We need more information, right? Let's stay with the story. What's exactly happening? A lot of what we spoke about was just theory and speculation. But at the end of the day, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with talking about this stuff, right? Why does that need to stop? Well, has it been vetted? So everything that we can't have a discussion, we can't spitball around, we can't talk about things. That's what the live stream was for. 4 people with unique perspectives who cover this topic in a unique way, all coming together to discuss it and let the audience see that discussion. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? As audience members, you know, you're not idiots. You can discern for yourself and believe what you want. I don't feel like I want to stop the information because, right, people are saying you can't handle it. I don't buy that. I think you can handle it. I think you're smart enough to discern what you want. I'll let you decide. But in no way was Pavel definitively saying this is happening, right? He may think that, but he's not saying I have evidence of that. He never said that, right? His opinion about the story, he's allowed, just like we're all allowed opinions about that story, right? I don't personally think that's happening. He may think it's happening, but I don't see anything wrong with Pavel presenting that story and saying, this is what my sources are telling me. Then we got to stop everyone in the UFO community from saying anything, because that's what they all say. My source told me. Every story you sit behind or run with, very few things have documentation. Even that, it doesn't back up the whole story. It will just back up part of it, right? You'll say, oh, this veteran did this. Okay, we proved he was a veteran, but we didn't prove the other stuff, right? So, again, I just don't see any issue with Pavel talking about it. I felt like his words were taken out of context. Mine were as well. Clint's were. Simon's were. Everybody's were. And maybe that just is part of it. right? But I wanted to address it here. I'm not asking anyone to take anything down. I didn't message anyone and threaten them legal action. You know what I mean? I'm just addressing it here like you do. And let them say what they want, right? This, you can't, the cat's out of the bag, people are going to have their own opinion. It's the internet. They're going to run with it however they run with. I'm just glad they included a link to the show and Pavel's and got my name right. Good. Let people watch the stream for themselves and to see and go, oh, okay, that's what really happened. Just like people will go back and watch the Ron James interview and go, oh, that's what he said, right? Because again, it's easy to just run with another narrative, right? And real quick, I do want to address one more thing about Ron. He was so cool when I talked to him on the phone about all of this, right? Because I asked him to come on the live stream, but it was last minute. He couldn't come. I'm glad he didn't show up for that, to be honest with you. It was a waste of time, you know? But he did want to talk to that guy, and whether that guy wants to believe it or not, right? And he did want to put that guy in his documentary and learn about some of the things he's looked into. Would have gave him all the credit in the world, because it's not about that, right? At the end of the day, of course you want to give credit to the people, right? It's just one of those things that you say in a podcast. Oh, this guy, you know, this was said. Oh, they talked about it on the Simon Holland. You know, don't stop and just lay it all out. I mean, it's just whatever. But other people were saying in that interview that Ron told a story about David Grush and how a year ago, that his story was vetted for a year beforehand, and tried to go to other avenues, other media outlets to get the story out before landing at the debrief, right? And putting the article out there, right? People were saying that's not true. There's documentation. Well, Ron told me on the phone, he's like, I have Ralph Blumenthal on camera saying all of that, right? So this idea that Ron is lying again about that is not true. Okay, look, I have no problem calling something out that's not true, but that's just not true about Ron. Why would I'm not going to go along with that story. That's not, you know, what Ron is saying is something he heard in an interview that he has, right? And he's like, I'll put that clip out if I have to, right? To prove, right? This is coming from Ralph Blumenthal. But whatever. It's going to be in his documentary coming up. And I didn't think that was really a story. I thought that story was kind of out there already, to be honest with you. So I didn't really see an issue there, but whatever. I don't know why people want to misrepresent what was said. Why not just criticize what was actually said? I don't know. That I have no problem with, right? Like, there's plenty of things to criticize. Just criticize that, like the real things. I don't know why just making stuff up that we said or Ron said, you know, just doesn't seem fair. Disingenuous. So we'll probably get Ron on. Maybe we can address some of this, and you know, you can hear it from him down the road. But you know, I really don't want to be talking about all the drama with all this stuff. But all right, that's what this live stream is for. Get it all out here, set the record straight on all that stuff, and just, you know, move on from it. But with the James Webb, you know, a lot is floating around about that. So I definitely want to address that. I hope people just watch these streams. Watch exactly what Pavel said. Don't just watch a little clip. Get the whole context. Yeah, I'm sticking up for everybody today, baby. Pavel, Clint, Simon, Ron James, you know, whoever I have to here. Yeah, crazy. And Simon is coming back on the show. I'm sure we'll discuss this. And that'll be interesting. We're going to wait a little bit to bring him back on. But he will be coming on, and we'll talk again soon about that. I'm sure Pavel's going to do a video to update on everything that's happening. You know, Congress did get asked about it, but people are kind of saying, well, they don't really know what they were being asked, right? But they said no comment on if James Webb was running any like classified missions, right? Or non-classified. But look, regardless, we just need to wait for more information to come out. Again, this is my opinion. No, I don't believe that's happening. I don't believe there's a big object headed for Earth, right? From James Webb that's secretly hidden and all that. I don't believe it, right? I've seen no evidence to support that or anything close. But I trust Pavel, and I look forward to seeing what he uncovers and what comes out from it. Again, he's making no claim to just, this is what his story, and he's following through on this story that people are clearly interested in. But in no way do I think something is headed for Earth and we all need to be worried, some cataclysm. Because I'm with Pavel in agreement that if that was happening, it should be talked about immediately, regardless of the outcome. That is knowledge we should have. But again, I've seen zero evidence to support any story like that specifically. But again, Pavel has sources. He has things. It's between him and these people, right? So and I'm not going to ask for that. He's not going to give that up, and nor should he. It's his story. But let's follow Pavel and just know Pavel is super trustworthy. And again, he's just talking about a story that he is following. And his opinion of it is separate. And he's allowed to give his opinion as well. Right. So, and what Simon Holland is talking about with SETI is a whole different thing, right? This signal from SETI of a techno signature, that has nothing to do with the James Webb story. Completely separate. Two separate things. And Simon is saying that's a planet far off, not that it's coming towards Earth, right? These are, and that's not spotted by James Webb. That's another array, satellites or whatever. That's something else entirely. I can't remember exactly from the stream. I need to go back and watch it. Sorry, I've been doing so many videos. I still got Chris Leto's interview yesterday. Remember, y'all, I do a video every day, right? I'm thinking about the next story as well. And I'm getting better, right, at presenting this stuff for y'all to decide at the end of the day. A lot of the vetting happens just from me, presenting it, right, from that point on, because so many vetters and different people in the community can then attack the information in a way that I can't on my own. I have those kind of resources. We've talked about this on the channel plenty of times, right? That's the idea behind vetted. It can be publicly vetted. Easier. Way more resources and eyeballs, right? Just like what happened with the pictures with Ron James the last time he came on, right? And he owned up to it. And I have so much respect for Ron and how he handled that, right? And presented it at the MUFON symposium and gave credit to me and talked about it and mentioned vetted and Patrick and how that happened and blah, blah, blah. And in the picture, right? And what happened? It was solved within minutes online. Within minutes, people, maybe not minutes, but at least within hours, that it was a diorama and blah, 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 and we did it on many other things that I've never even made videos on. Other stuff that we then go in Discord and talk about and it gets figured out, right? That's the way I do it. Some of the stuff I pre-vet, I guess, in a way, but it's more personal, right? It's not really anything crazy, but for the most part, I want to get the most information I can out and that I find interesting. And I can't cover everything. It's impossible. I can't get to everything. So I might make a decision one way or the other that's wrong of something I didn't cover. Right. And if I did cover something wrong, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to set the record straight. But please don't go down the Joshua Bertrand avenue of doing it with me. Right? Why do people keep trying that with me, attacking me, threatening legal action immediately? Like, instead of just trying to talk to me, I'm completely reasonable to work with. And I've proven that on many occasions. I will take the high road and just end the thing. Right? That's all people have to do. If there's a video that's out that people have a problem with, talk to me about it. I'm willing to set the record straight and give all sides. At the end of the day, I want what's best for the audience, not what's best for me. Right? I'm just trying to give what's best out there for everybody watching, for you watching. right? You can make the decision yourself. You can dig deeper and further and find out. As far as platforming, right? This idea, I don't want to censor information. I don't like censoring. I do believe in freedom of speech wholeheartedly, even if it can be messy. I believe in the discussion of ideas and thoughts, and I don't see anything wrong with us doing the live stream discussion, for example, of the James Webb and all of that stuff coming. I don't see anything wrong with doing that and having those discussions. Because then all someone has to do is post another video saying, I don't think that's how it should work. But this whole behind the scenes and legal, and I mean, what are we doing? It's crazy. Just discuss your ideas, push back, right? And why can't people just do it respectfully? Don't understand. Don't get it. But whatever. All right, I'm going off on too much of a diatribe here. All right, let's just get to any questions people have. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's focus on the chat, y'all. Let's focus on y'all because I care about y'all. Y'all are the reason I do this. Let's go. Let's get to some chat here. Joe LeBlanc gifted 1 membership. You rock, Joe. Thank you so much, man. I love that stuff. Thank you. I mean that. Thank you. Christopher Howard, 10 vetted memberships. Holy cow, dude. Wow. Christopher, shout out to Christopher, man. Part of the Night Shift crew. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Night Shift. Eki McPhee, you will 100% be there at the forefront of disclosure, brother. I hope so. Hey, with everybody. Let's do it together as a crew. Vetters assemble, as we say. Joe LeBlanc says, who is he even? You know, I got no more to say on that. Dorothy says, you're a consummate professional. Thank you. Dorothy, you rock. Thank you. Shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to everyone who sent in questions. Don't worry, I'm getting to everybody's here. Joe says, I want attention too. Yeah. Joe, love it. You blew him away like a colt, Patrick. Well, again, that's not how I didn't want it to go like that. I really didn't. Again, I've proven myself to be completely reasonable on so many occasions. Right. And I bring the receipts. And again, it's not your opinion that I care about. It's how you present that opinion. I've always said that. I don't care what you think about UFOs or aliens. But how do you present what you think about them? Are you aggressive and a complete asshole? Then I don't care what you think. If you believe it or you don't. Right? Again, if someone had an issue with one of my videos, just approach me reasonably. I will talk to you. You know, that's all you got to do. And maybe give me more than 2 minutes to respond to you in a Twitter DM on a Sunday afternoon. But I wanted that to be resolved amicably, like I've resolved everything else amicably in the past. All right. This is the first gentleman that it didn't get resolved amicably. Charlie Stewart, veteran number 1. Keep up the great work, Patrick. Hey, and nothing against the guy. I wish him the best. I hope it goes well with everything he wants to do. I'll end it with, I think we have different styles. And I just don't want to connect with that style. That's a different style than me. So he can do his style. I'll do my style. He won't be brought up again past this video. Right? All right, let's get to some questions here. How does he own the rights on what is on the internet? There's a lot of stuff on the net. Yeah, again, you know, he didn't want to get into the legal thing, right? Because there is no legal argument there. And it won't matter because after this video, I'm going to remove that clip from it. I already talked to Ron. It's like, we'll just remove it. It's like, it doesn't matter. So innocuous. If he'd have handled that more correctly, he'd be getting credit and a tweet out and attention to his channel and attention to his research. And right, like, again, you attract more flies with honey, not vinegar. You can't come at somebody that hot, right, and then not expect to have to explain yourself. But no problem, removed. Yeah, all good. Did you hear something about David Grush? Nope. I've heard nothing of new. You know, like if anything's there was a rumor, you know what? That's something I can talk about. There was a rumor going around that, and I had retweeted it as well. I took it down immediately, but that he had a book coming out. He was going to sign a book deal and he was going to have a book coming out because his op-ed was being had been denied. But that turned out not to be true. At least not confirmed, right? I don't think it's true. David Grush hasn't said anything, and honestly, for something like that, you really want to hear it from the official, person. Like when Lou Elizondo's book came out, Jay Stratton, right? They made their own, and like everyone does that puts out a book. And I agree, that's how it should be. Daniel says, keep having these conversations, speculation, Pavel, Simon, Clint, and others in the community. It's so important to get to hear different perspectives. Keep doing what you're doing. Exactly, Daniel. Well said, my man. Exactly. That's all it is. It's a conversation, open ideas. Like if you were sitting around the campfire with your buddies and just talking about, you know what I mean? Is anyone be like, hang on, it's like, wait, don't bring that up, man. That hasn't been confirmed. We can't even discuss it. Like, no, let's just talk. People can discern what is happening, right? People can discern what is being said. The issue becomes the people that take that and go, oh, they're saying that. That's the problem, not the discussion, right? So if you have a problem with anything, it's how the discussion is taken, right? Not the discussion itself, in my opinion. So yes, great point. At Patrick, how does Pavel have intel on what's headed our way? He's got his own sources, right? You'll have to address Pavel with that. I don't want to speak for him. He's got his own sources, his own things. Pavel's a journalist. Him and I are completely different. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a journalist. I present things. I insert a lot of humor in my video. I'm completely different. Remember, I have a rule embedded. I don't have sources. I don't do that. I don't have connections. I don't have anonymous sources, right? And anybody I bring on, I've talked to, they're going to come on. They're going to talk. They're going to, you know what I mean? It'd be like if Ron gave me those videos and all this stuff, and I put it out, but I didn't say Ron. I just have an anonymous source and all these things, right? That's it. I'm minimally cryptic, right? But we're just different. But Pavel is a journalist, and journalists have sources, anonymous sources. That's part of being a journalist, right? So Pavel's in a different category, and what he's doing and the work he's doing, right? He's creating stories in that way, right? With this, going and finding and researching and investigating, and then saying what's going on, and we just talk about it. That's all it is, and that's all it was. If a lot of people watched it, well, I can't help that. I'm glad people did. People seem to have enjoyed that conversation and want us to do more, and we will, right? It was great. Clint, Simon, Pavel, and it was awesome. But again, Pavel's a journalist, and he's going to have sources, anonymous sources. It's totally within the realm of being a journalist. So zero problems, but I don't know exactly the intel. If you go watch our live stream, you'll definitely get more information there. And Pavel's channel, Psychoactivo. Please go subscribe if you haven't already. Let me see here. Ron James mentioned he saw Aaron Jones in somebody's interview. Who was he? Yeah, that was on Simon Holland's. That's the funny part. Simon Holland has had that guy on. Curious what Simon is going to say about that guy now. Yeah, look, I do too. I get anxiety too, and I apologize. I don't like doing these sort of live streams and those sort of confrontations and discussions, and yeah, I hate it. I hate having to deal with all this. Right? I just want to make videos every day, but I always have to deal with some yahoos sometimes doing this stuff that just interrupts my family time. Like, dude, crazy. Yeah, man. A certain amount of hate coming Pavel's way should it be coming from the anti-mummy crowd. Well, Pavel has definitely been through a rough patch over the weekend and a lot of stuff. And he didn't deserve a lot of it. It's just part of growing, guys. You're going to put stories out. You're going to get people saying things, and it's not easy for people like Pavel, myself, who put ourselves out there. Simon can attest to it. Clint, anybody that's making content, who's actually trying to do something, not just on Twitter tweeting how horrible other people are at doing stuff when they don't do anything. Right? Those people crack me up. I just don't even really pay attention to that. But Pavel doesn't deserve a lot of shit rolling downhill on him. Brock says, do you think there's any chance he was talking about Nibiru? What is that? Nibiru. I don't know what that is, Brock. That sounds very familiar, that name, but I can't piece it together. My apologies. Put in the regular chat. I'll come back to it. Josh says, have a beer on me, brother. Appreciate your hustle. Check your DM on X or Discord me when you get a chance. I know you're crazy busy. No rush. Just wanted you to know it's there. Love vetted. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, man. Look, just the same way as the other Josh. Like, I get a lot of messages, y'all. I get so many emails. And honestly, I want to address the positive ones. But then I get stuck having to address these other ones of people coming at me, right? And spreading this stuff. But I want to address the positive ones that come at me, and the positive DMs and emails and messages that I get from all over the world, from all kinds of wonderful people with great stories to tell, like Josh Crow here, right? And people in the Discord, just all over. So I will. Josh, I will check, man. Thank you for the support, Josh. Camille says, let Pavel know Vetted's got his back. Absolutely. We're all a team here. 100% Vetted's got his back. That goes without saying. I'm very loyal. Ask my friends of 30 plus years. I just come from that sort of group friend. Like, loyalty is huge. Once somebody crosses into, like Fokker would say, you're in the circle of trust. Once you're in that circle of trust in my world, I'm, you know what I mean? I got your back. Within reason, right? There clearly can be things that can happen, but dude, Pavel has been nothing but professional, awesome, cool, such a great friend. Anyone that knows Pavel knows he's such a great guy, right? Like, it's crazy. And genuine and authentic. So, is what it is. It happens. But poor Pavel, man. Again, he doesn't deserve any of that. Joe says, Patrick, do you get nervous before streams? Nervous? No, dude, I do a video every day for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I've put myself on camera so many times. I don't get nervous. It's not at all. No. The only thing I am nervous about is that I'm making a good show, that I'm, providing something of quality to the vetted audience. But that's just sort of a general nerve anxiety that hangs over me all the time. Just like when I worked in restaurants, like anything creative I've done, just always there I want to make sure I perform well. I care about performing well. Honestly, I perform best under pressure. Like when things are hot, and that's when, like, dude, I go into another level. I don't back down from that. I go into overdrive, another level, because I'm pretty laid back for the most part. But if I need to, I will sit up and go into the other level, which again just comes from working at high-end restaurants that I work. What's your opinion on the UAPDA failing? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have one. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm not sold on it either way. I've heard arguments from both sides of people that agree with it and don't, and I don't know. If it goes through, I'm not mad or anything, right? Like, uh, you know, wouldn't care, I don't know if it actually affects really anything if it doesn't go through, like, right? Like, oh, disclosure's over. I guess we're not getting disclosure. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think disclosure rides on this at all. Basic disclosure, full-blown disclosure, medium disclosure, however much information is to be released that's considered disclosure. I don't think this really has any effect on it. Now, I can totally sympathize and relate to all the people that worked really hard to try to get this passed, or worked with, Congress to draft, the wording, or how, the legislation and stuff. Like, I can totally sympathize with their efforts and them feeling deflated. Like, I said, absolutely. Like, I would cheers them with a beer. Like, dude, that sucks. You worked really hard for that. Like, I get it. Like, why some people are upset. Totally relate. I totally get it. I totally understand, especially if it's something you've been fighting for, or something you really wanted and it didn't go through. I can totally understand why you'd be upset. I get it. I can. I'm just not attacking anyone that doesn't feel that way, right? Or we're not on the side of disclosure if you weren't doing that or whatever. Again, if it went through, great. I would have supported it. But again, I totally understand the people that worked really hard and it didn't happen for them. Bro, I get it. Like, I would be upset too. I totally understand. Oh, I am way behind on chat. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. Ever heard of the blood of cows can alter space and time? What? That's why the cattle mutilations theory came from the guys from Skinwalker Ranch on the Phenomenon. A guy mentioned it on YouTube. Oh, that's what people say about my video. The guy on YouTube. Look, guys, just don't believe anything you hear from guys on YouTube, including myself. Ever heard of the blood of cows can alter space and time? No, I have not heard of that. Imoke. Am I saying that right? Imoke. Love that name. No. That is interesting. The blood of cows, huh? Alter space and time. Why just the blood of cows, of bovine, right? A cow? Like cow adjacent? Like, why just specifically the blood of cows? That's interesting. What chemical in the blood of cows that's not in the blood of, iguanas or lizards or our blood or whatever, right? Or just blood. That's interesting. Kind of doesn't make sense, in my opinion. But what do I know? But hey, great question. Interesting to think about. Chris Smith, extremely entertaining. Thanks, man. I don't know about that, but I appreciate you. That is quite a super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. I hope it's entertaining. At the end of the day, this should be entertaining. No matter what we're covering, why does every channel have to be the same? Why do I need to cover things on my channel the way other people cover it on their channels? Can I not do my own thing? Can I not have my own way of presenting this? Right? Can I not have my own personality? And guess what? If you don't like it, then you just don't tune in. You find something else. But why is it that I need to do this other thing, right? Let me be me. The people who like it will come and we'll move along, right? So that's it. But I want to add an entertainment aspect to this. Of course, there's a lot of seriousness out there and a lot of serious videos and serious topics. And not to say we don't ever get serious on here, right? But just I do it my way, and that's not going to change. Because remember, at the end of the day, the only thing I care about is respectful conversation about this topic. That's it. Have whatever opinion you want. Let's just be respectful about it, courteous, and be a little bit classy, a little bit professional. And I'm not saying I haven't ever crossed that line. I'm not perfect, and neither are you. We'll all cross that line eventually, right? But we can get past it quickly, right? It's not the mistake, it's how you handle the mistake that really counts. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. That's all I'm promoting. I'm not telling you to believe in the phenomena. I'm not telling you not to believe in the phenomena, because I'm not trying to tell you what to believe. I can tell you what I think, and I can show you different things. At the end of the day, you decide or don't decide. You just watch it for fun, or you just watch it for this, or you just watch it for that. Get what you want out of it. I can't control that. And it should be that way, in my opinion. For my show, this is what we do here. Everyone else can do what they want. That's why that's why I started the vetted community, not the UFO community. No offense, but I really want nothing to do with the UFO community. I just want to be a part, create our own community here of vetted to explore lots of topics, not just UFOs, consciousness, the universe, where did we come from, other mysteries, right, that we get into. Because again, we all know that we don't understand everything. We don't have all the answers. No one does. So freedom of discussion to me is the most paramount idea we should protect. The most paramount. Not the belief in anything or disbelief in anything, but just the idea that we can discuss anything we want and not be restricted, right? That is the problem. Let people go on this journey themselves the way they want, right? We only get one life. Maybe we get more, but we don't know. Just the idea of trying to control that for somebody is, I'm not a fan of. All right. I mean, we'll be wrapping this up soon. All right. Brock is putting what Nibiru is. Ancient legend about a planet that revolves around the sun every 12,000 years or something like that. A lot of the legends about it. Some say the Anunnaki live on it. Okay, maybe that's where I've heard it. Yeah, very interesting. Could that be it? What you're saying, what Pavel's talking about? I mean, I guess I have to technically say, I guess that's possible, right? But the bigger question is it probable? Remember, everything's almost a possibility. It's like, is this possible? Yeah. But is it probable? You decide for yourself. If you've looked into this phenomena, if you've looked into the Anunnaki and all of that, you might have one opinion versus someone who doesn't know much about it and think, I don't think that's it. Yeah, everyone's going to have their own opinion there. Yeah, got some cool stuff coming up. Interviews, talking to Patrick Jackson here in a little bit, actually, to discuss what we're going to discuss on our interview coming up, Patrick Jackson, which some of y'all will be very excited about. A lot of people have requested him. So that's going to be an awesome interview that's coming up. I'm also interviewing Michael Ian Black, the actor. He's coming on again. That'll be great. Those are going to be great conversations. Watch, both of those guys will be reached out to by somebody to tell them not to come on my show. Watch. And then I'm going to play them this part, this show. But no, they're coming on regardless. So that'll be cool. I'm very excited about that. Shout out to Justin here, man. One of our mods. Super, super great dude. Says, keep being your authentic self and covering what you want to cover. You're one of the best channels that talks about disclosure. I really love the vetted community that you built. Thank you, Justin. And look, I cannot take credit for it. We all built it. That is the truth. There is no community without you watching. You right there. You watching this video. There's no community without you. Remember that. We're all just as important in this community. I'm just the idiot that turns on a camera and mic and puts out videos, right? To give us a place to all commune for our community. But thank you to Justin. Look, shout out to all these mods. Let's give everyone a shout out here. Brookers as well. I'm just not necessarily this comment, but just Brookers in general here. Brookers, one of our mods. Always one of the first mods to show up in the live chat. Amazing. Here every day. Love Brookers to death. Thank you so much for everything you do, Brookers. I mean that. We got Daniel, of course. Daniel's the man, our head moderator here, Vetted. Runs our entire Discord. Amazing dude. So proud to have him part of the Vetted community. I'm honored that he would be a part of it with us. That goes to say with that for everybody. Trying to find the other mods here, a comment, so I can just throw them up. Oh, here we go. Chris here as well, a new moderator that just joined. Thank you to Chris. Say, Patrick, never give up. All you do, mate. We have your back as well as other vetters. Thank you, Chris. Heiser, right here. Vetter of the month from last month. Still rocking it. Amazing. And everyone here that's a mod on YouTube is a mod on Discord. I like having it that way, to be honest with you. Kind of doing both, pulling double duty. Who am I missing here? Allie. I don't see a comment. And Jessica. Both of them are amazing. And I really appreciate everything they do for the channel as well. And that's the beauty. You don't have to show up every day, kind of jump back and forth. Everyone covers everybody. I clearly don't have any requirements like that. Like, you got to show up every day. Of course not. I would never say that to anybody. You just show up when you can. And they all do a great job and show up a lot more than I ever thought they would, to be honest with you. And they're amazing people, and they inspire me. I'm not going to lie. They inspire me. Here's another guy who inspires me right here, Todd Harper. He runs our open mics after every show. And again, no pressure. He's going to do it every day. But during the week, Monday through Thursday, if there's an after party and he has time, he helps run the open mic, and he's done a phenomenal job with that. Great discussions happening in our Discord. If you haven't joined that already and you want to talk to other like-minded people like yourself and just discuss openly all kinds of different opinions, all respectful, it's wonderful. That's where you go. And Todd helps run that after the shows. So go to our Discord after the premiere of every video every day. There's always a discussion in Discord that can last hours. So have at it. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, guys. And thank you to all the, oh gosh, let me appreciate it, Brock. The Duke, my first super. Thanks, Patrick. Love what you do. Thank you, the Duke. Appreciate you, man. And thank you to all the members who are all, YouTube members. Really appreciate it. My Patreon members, y'all. I've got some great stuff this week for everybody on Patreon. It's going to be good. So look forward to that. I've got a lot of plans for Patreon, to be honest with you. I've been putting a lot of work behind the scenes for a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with Patreon. I want to thank my Patreon members because they've been such an integral part of Vetted behind the scenes for months. And just all great people. I want to give a huge shout out to them. Okay, y'all. I think I'm going to stop it there. And I'm not going to jump on Twitter, because I'm sure I'm already being attacked. But I got work to do. Yeah, guys, we're almost at 1,000 Discord members, so get it there. All right, y'all. Thank everybody for thank you to everyone who tuned in. Really appreciate it. And pardon me, what's coming out tomorrow? Oh no. Okay, the interviews won't come out till later in the week, so just expect some normal vetted videos to come out in the next few days, right? Bangers, of course, as always, covering the latest UFO news, right? So again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to all the mods as always for helping with everything. So thank you guys so much. And look, thank you to Joshua Bertrand for coming on. Didn't go the way I wanted, but it is what it is. Can't do anything past that. And thanks to Ron James for coming on for a great show over the weekend. And if you haven't checked that out, I'll update this the description to include all the links to those videos. So no worries there. And again, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Pavel's channel, Seco Activo, and Clint's channel, Night Shift Podcast, and of course, Simon Holland as well, his channel. Amazing gentlemen, just professionals to the T, and great conversations with those guys. And look forward to the next one, which we will do. Okay, so all right, y'all. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.